Defense.
Is he your star receiver? Or is he a backup?
Bro, it don't like, bro. No, it don't matter. It don't matter if he was fucking whatever receiver. It glitched out. It wouldn't even let him put his hands up and catch the ball.
The game cheating.
I'm
Game cheating.
I'm tight. Like I'm real tight. What? Ladies and gentlemen,
I was about to say who's your next opponent?
uh, fucking, I don't know, man. I'm over that team. I'm over that team. I'm ready to take on another squad, bro. Fuck that squad.
I'm sorry.
They just whatever. It's some bullshit. Yo, what? This is 2 games in a row with this team I have been hoed. The last game versus Minnesota. Now this is the real bullshit.
Minnesota?
Yeah, yes. They recover a random ass onside kick.
When did that ever happen?
They recover an onside kick to tie the game. Then they recover an onside kick to win the game. This is the computer we're talking about.
That's
what
tough.
The fuck is going on?
Minnesota? Like you can talk about Ohio State. Okay. Minnesota, the Golden Gophers?
I'm really tired. I'm really mad at this game right now. I'm really fucking tired. Yo, there's no reason I should have just lost that game right now. No reason. None at all.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 154. Speak on it. You usually do this. I don't know why I'm doing this tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, NCAA 25 is some bullshit. It be acting like some bullshit. It be on some bullshit. And I just lost the game on some real bullshit. Wow.
So what was the final score?
10-17.
Oh my God. But at least you'll make the playoff. That's all that matters. Get in.
That was my 3rd loss of the season.
Probably. You will not be making the playoffs unless you win the Big Ten.
I've lost to Minnesota, Tennessee, and now Ohio State.
Okay, so Tennessee's not conference though. So that's okay. It's not okay, but it doesn't hurt as bad as if you lost 3 conference games.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. I ain't gonna hold you. That's some bullshit. That's some real bullshit. My brother, how are you doing? Got to be better than me because I'm like real tight about this game.
I'm okay. Work can slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. Like we're starting to get back into a rhythm. Starting to sleep. Life's good. I can't complain too much. Still haven't bought a PlayStation 5. It's on my to-do list. So this weekend, I think you'll like this story.
Wait a minute. You still walking around the streets with no PS5? Like that's acceptable?
I don't have time to play it. So this weekend, a lot of my buddies, we went out to the country and we shot guns. And that was a lot of fun. I kind of get it. So I'm thinking about buying a gun.
I hear him. Y'all hear his activities?
What?
Y'all hear him? Damn. You hear him? We got to check on his. We got whereabouts January 6th. If you want to.
Whoa. So like I don't know a lot about guns. Like again, my friends are big gun enthusiasts. Like they have multiple weapons. So yeah, we went to my buddy's house. He has a whole bunch of acreage. We set up targets. They had like rifles and pistols.
Y'all had the Call of Duty training camp set up?
Yeah.
Y'all had the entry level little course that told you how to play the game. Slide over here. Grab your weapon.
So before we got started, like my best friend, like his dad is an instructor, like he teaches gun safety. So he and I kind of went to the side. He kind of like gave me a crash. So yeah, it was like a Call of Duty.
That's that first mission. They just got to somebody's backyard talking about some grab the weapon, shoot the target.
Pretty much. It was fun though. Like I'm thinking I've started to do some research. So instead of PS5, I might buy a 45.
Wait, what?
A 45.
A 45 what?
Caliber weapon, a gun, a handgun.
Who do you think you're gonna be hitting with that?
Nobody. The guy who's selling stolen stuff next door when the police come.
Wait, what?
Remember I told you I got the camera for the guy next door who's stealing stolen stuff? Remember we
Wait,
talked about it like
refresh my memory. It was from last week, right?
no, this is from like 3 weeks ago. So remember I told you there's a guy next door. Our doors are really close together because I live in a townhome. He's obviously selling stolen goods. So I put up a camera to help deter that behavior. And it's slowing down a little bit, but he's still doing it. And Friday evening, I was at home because again, I could hear what he was saying to one guy. The guy to me and my wife was obviously a cop. He was asking questions that a cop would ask, and I don't think my man was picking up on it.
What type of questions was the cop asking?
So
what are cop questions?
So he was asking questions like,
around here, boy?
No, he was like, wow, I saw you have a lot of stuff on sale online. Do you buy like storage units? Kind of like asking, how do you get all this stuff to sell? Very obvious cop question to me. And his response was like, yeah, I do this. Like, what?
Wait, what do you do?
Exactly.
Yo, what Charles Barkley said, ladies and gentlemen, America, if you're going to commit crimes, don't do what?
Don't commit crimes with checks. And then he asked another question. I forgot what it was, but I was like, he might be the dumbest. Either that's a cop or someone about to spin the block and rob this man. One of the two. Oh, I got it. So the person was buying like I've never seen this. It was like an off-brand personal robot. And this guy seemed pretty savvy technology. He was like, "Oh, how do you charge this?" So why would he buy a robot that he doesn't know how to charge? Like it just seemed very odd.
Wait, the guy who had it didn't know how to charge it.
He did. So he took it out. He's like, yeah, the charger right here. This is how you charge it up, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, no, that's a cop. That is a COP, a police officer.
Did he get arrested?
No, he has not been arrested. It just, that interaction felt very weird. I was like, either someone building a case against him, or I'm looking at camera one day and someone going to have a pistol at his head, running in that house and taking everything.
You know, sometimes I'll be thinking about Jussie Smollett, and I'll be thinking, my brother, you thought they was going to believe that you got robbed outside of a Subway and the sandwich made it home safe and healthy, but you did not make it home that healthy and safe?
That might be Charles Barkley's best, because as soon as Charles said it, he was like, that ain't real. Like America was like being empathetic, like let's hear him out, and Charles was like, nah.
America just be hearing some shit and don't be thinking critically. Yo, Jesse, to this day, I think about that shit you tried to get off. Yo, what he tried to say? He got attacked?
It was a hate crime. He was trying to say they attacked him because he was gay. Because apparently it's gay to eat sandwiches from Subway. Like, how would you know he was gay? Unless you knew who he was, I guess. But at the time, he was in Empire. So yeah,
that Empire contract.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was an Empire. So I feel like that's a believable story. Unless you're Charles Barkley, who saw right through that.
Hey, he wasn't the only one. I saw it and was like, interesting.
Other than that, but yeah, I'll give you an update. I'll let you know if he gets arrested because I feel like it's coming.
If he does get arrested, are you gonna bail him out?
No.
Why not?
I don't like him.
What if he would bail you out, though?
He doesn't even know my name. I don't know his name.
He would bail you out tomorrow. Go bail that man out.
No, he would not.
They go book him. Go ahead and bail that man out.
Let me tell you something. If I was a different kind of person, I'd go over there and blackmail him and get a cut of all that money he making.
Well, that's the first way to see if he got a gun in the house or not. That's the way to find out if you like it. That's the way to tell if he's packing or not. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 154 of Speak Order. As always, You are joined by the smoothest bald head on the East Coast, Danny Ocean. And of course, when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix. Danny, how are we doing today? It's a good day.
It is a good, like I said, things are slowing down at work. It was a beautiful day. Like we got a terrible storm yesterday, but like today was like mild. My wife and I went for a walk after work. It was just like just a preview of what the next couple of months are going to be like. It was a very beautiful day here.
How are them kids?
I wasn't there today. I was there yesterday. Whoo, buddy. That's why I don't work in schools.
So let me ask you something. When these kids be acting bad in school, why is it people always want to show empathy to the kids and not the students? I mean, and not the teachers.
Yeah, I feel like it's because the kids are still developing, and as a teacher, you should have that perspective that maybe this is their way of. Hey, listen.
But some of these kids are little demons.
Yes, some. Let me tell you a story about what.
Some of these kids, what Dr. Umar say? I can't save them all.
They said they should be put down.
Nah, I ain't say all that.
I ain't saying all that, but there was a young man yesterday who got off of a bus, and on his T-shirt it said, "In Glock we trust," and on the back was a drawing of a pistol.
Like your school?
At one of the schools. I don't work at a school, but it was
he out of here.
So yeah, the administrator like stopped him and was like, "Dog, you can't wear that here." And he looked so confused, and I was like, "Dog, how is this a conversation?"
Not a Key Glock shirt?
Not a Key Glock. It said, "In Glock we trust," and on the back was a picture of a pistol. And this young person was shocked when an adult said, "Hey, dog, you can't walk in here with that shirt on."
So, how often do you think Michael Irvin goes back and looks at that video and said, "I tried to tell you we was losing recipes"?
All the time. All the time.
Because we are losing recipes.
But you know what? I feel like every generation has that, right? Like when I was like, we had the snowman shirt. Like I had a snowman shirt, and I had to turn it inside out at school one day.
That's a snowman, though.
Yeah, but I mean, the teachers.
Everybody knows Jeezy ain't hide them birds at his mama's house, at his auntie house.
But once the teachers
everybody know he didn't really win Trapper of the Year 4 times in a row.
But when the one black teacher was like, "Come on, dog," and the other teachers figured it out, it was inappropriate.
Well, that's a deeper conversation because why your skin folk blowing up the spot? Let's talk about
it. They did not blow up the spot, but when I walked in, he just kind of looked at me like, but no, he did not tell on me.
My brother, we got a lot of football to talk about today.
We do, and we're going to try to squeeze in a mock draft.
We are going to try to squeeze in a mock draft. You ready to hop right into it? I think we can get right into the stuff. Let's
get cracking.
Yeah, start with some football, my brother.
So let's get a couple. Let's quick hit these things. A couple teams name the starters. Commanders name Jaden Daniels. No shock there. Gardner Minshew won a mid-off in Las Vegas. Do you have any thoughts?
I feel like a couple weeks ago when we were kind of talking about this QB race between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Donnell or McDonald, whatever his name was, we were like, this is going to be a true mid-off. What does it say the longer this mid-off goes on? And we were like, that this mid-off is bad. Let me tell you something. Devontae Adams, we just got to pray for him. I think we got to do a lot of praying for Devontae Adams.
That trade request is going to hit any moment.
Well, I'm not even talking about trade requests. I feel like the way Gardner Minshew be putting receivers' lives in dangers, pray for Devontae Adams, man. He going to get a few balls that you just say, yo, dog, you shouldn't even try it. But he can't help himself. Are you buying into this Bo Nix not looking back foolishness? Well, let me tell you something. I think listen, I listened to Bill Belichick speak on Bo Nix on Monday, and I think some of his optimism made me a little bit more optimistic on Bo Nix. I think the one thing that Bill Belichick said that I didn't I wouldn't say I disagree with, but I feel like I more agree than disagree, is that Bo Nix, out of all the QBs, he played the most football, which in many eyes would probably make him the most pro ready. So if there was someone who may not have who may have the highest floor, pairing him up with someone with the IQ or someone whose offense is like Sean Payton's, where it's a lot of options, a lot of different coverages, a lot of different places you can put the football. Honestly, it makes me a little more optimistic that the Broncos they got it right. And every time I've seen Bo Nix in this postseason, even versus the Packers in the preseason over the weekend, he didn't look bad. Granted, it's against 2s and 3s, and I would say versus that Packers team, that was against 3s and 4s for real. So, yeah, I'm buying it. I'm buying a little bit of Bo Nix. I feel like when you play that much football and have some of the success that he had, granted, yes, he wasn't able to win a national championship, but you want no scrub.
I think you're buying it because you have Bo Nix in Dynasty.
Well, no, it doesn't really matter because he ain't playing no time soon.
Yeah, but if it works out, you already got your super flex quarterback.
Brother, I got Jared Goff and Josh Allen or something like that.
You do. I forgot about that combo. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. And y'all lucky we don't have 2 QBs like starting this year, because my team would really be.
Whoa! I got Jalen Hurts and Kirk Cobain's.
Who?
Kirk Cousins.
Oh please! Ain't nobody scared to know. Kirk Cousins.
Do you think
coming off an Achilles injury? What are you talking about? You don't feel good about that, but
I do if I had to.
Yeah,
but if not,
if I had to, he is sitting deep on your bench. You are not trying to let him see the daylight. So that the QB of your regular team does all right, but that's another story for a whole different time. Why Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni silently hate each other?
I mean, I think that's kind of been. If you're an Eagles fan, I think that's not that all that talk was not a surprise. What's that? Was it the year they went to the Super Bowl? I want to say that Giants playoff game. It might have been another game, but they're on the sideline. Sirianni is like talking shit. He's fired up, and Jalen's just kind of looking at him like, "Dog, shut up." Like, yeah, this ain't no shock to us.
What was he talking shit about? Like the Giants?
Like the Eagles were up. Sirianni was being Sirianni. He was just fired up, and Jalen was just kind of looking at him like, "Yo, can you be an adult? Like, this is a football game. Like, we got stuff to do." I'm not shocked. That report. The only thing that was shocking me about that report was that Jalen and Sirianni need to have like a third party to communicate with each other. That was like when it's gone well, that has been like a mediator. Like the year they went to the Super Bowl, it was Shane Steichen. Like he was kind of the bridge between Jalen and Sirianni. Last year, Brian Johnson has known Jalen his entire life, so that bridge really didn't work. So this year it's supposed to be like Kellen Moore. Like that's what I like. If the quarterback and the coach really can't communicate.
Wait a minute, but I'm lost by what you mean by there's a bridge.
Like there's someone who can manage Sirianni on behalf of Jalen.
Is this guy like a child? Is he like one of those immature older white dudes, one of those college frat bro type that just knows football?
I feel like it, and especially when they're winning. Like, I mean, you've seen him on camera when the Eagles are winning, like shaking his head at the camera.
Oh, you mean the same guy you was hyping up, right?
Oh, I'm still hyping him up. I'm just saying, I can imagine that would be annoying if you're around it every day. I still like it, but I ain't got to work with that. I just see it 3 hours once a week. Huh?
He's all bark, no bite.
And well, I'll say this: if I have to pick between Jalen and Nick, it's going to be Jalen.
Really?
You can find another head coach. It's hard to find another quarterback.
Some might say you can find another head coach. I mean, you can always find another quarterback. Can you really find a new head coach?
Shit, ask the Broncos that question.
Well,
ever since Peyton Manning left, ask the Broncos that question.
Well, they've also had the unpleasant fortune of not being able. They've also won too many games to find good quarterbacks. And
ask the New York Giants how easy it is to find a quarterback.
They have one.
Maybe we should preface by saying a good quarterback.
Yeah, most teams don't have a good quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. So if I got one,
have one. So
who?
You heard me. The Eagles barely got one. So
shit. Jordan Love had 4 good games, and all of a sudden,
that's not true.
He had 5 good games at the end of the season, and all of a sudden,
He actually he had a really good season overall and was maybe like a drive or two, maybe like a drive away from beating the team that lost in the Super Bowl. Y'all
Well,
lost to Baker and them, and it was bad.
it was bad.
It was bad.
It was. I'm not saying it wasn't. I just know week one they're gonna have to scrape Jordan Love off the pavement because Jalen Carter on the way.
No, listen, with Kellen Moore calling that offense, please, yo.
I said Jalen Carter.
Let me tell you that, yo, but y'all have to score like offensive points.
We will. Oh, it's gonna be like 35.
Did you see the tush push with no Jason Kelce?
Oh, that's the tush push with Tanner McKee and Kenny Pickett.
Y'all got excuses for everything over there in Philly. What are your thoughts on joint team practices that are being used as like preseason games for like the ones and twos that some teams are doing versus other teams that are strictly just using the preseason games to play the ones for like a series or two, and then the twos, and then most of the threes and the fours to try to see depth?
We talked about this last week a little bit, how the Eagles use joint practices as a way to get the ones work. It's more controlled compared to a game, but nothing beats a game, right? So I see the value in having them play in the preseason game, get the game day feel, but I understand why most teams say, hey, we're going to use joint practices as our scrimmage for our ones, because then you can control more things. There are more, like you just can control more during the joint practice compared to like especially the 1-on-1s. Like you can really get some good work in like receivers versus DBs because they're not going to get the ball every time on the drive, right? You can do 1-on-1 between offensive and defensive linemen. What my best against your best look like, right? You can do some good individual drills, and then you can do, a controlled scrimmage and just go from there with everyone. Better odds of because you can, but you don't have to tackle to the ground, right? Like you can set the parameters to make sure like your ones stay healthy.
They're not really,
Yeah, I'll just say joint practices have more control. Like you can control more of the joint practice.
I like the preseason because let me tell you something. Y'all don't know how to go out here and joint practicely enough for my liking. Y'all go out here, somebody push your wide receiver or somebody chirp at your QB. Now it's a fight. Now we got about 60 gigantic humans with helmets on swinging at each other that, you know what I mean?
DK Metcalf. That's still the funniest thing of the whole offseason so far.
Yo, that's kind of solidified that he might be.
Correct. Yeah. Yo, so we talked about the Falcons earlier. When are they going to let Michael Penix Jr. play so he can take Kirk Cousins' job?
I ain't seen this type of racism in Georgia since Trump said that they were stealing them election votes. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Nah, this is ridiculous. Yo, Falcons, what are y'all doing?
They know if Michael Penix get out there in that purple silk do-rag during preseason and light it up, that's a wrap for Kirk. Their audience is really unique in the way that
they black.
They might not survive the Falcons, that is, if Penix go out there and kill it, and they're like, well, here's Kirk.
The Falcons have two options. They got to go out and be good early and hush some noise, or they got to go out and be bad early. Let's just go ahead.
But Kirk there for 2 years regardless, so you better hope you're good.
Listen, in the state of Georgia, I think they're so used to racism that they would allow Kirk Cousins to make that money and sit on the bench if it meant a brother being the starting QB of the Atlanta Falcons. They wouldn't be this happy since Michael Vick, bro. Come on.
I feel like we should go back and redo our NFC South because now that they got Matthew Judon, woo buddy, like that Falcons team might have the division wrapped up week 13, 14.
Can you believe the Patriots just wanted to let him go?
I mean, they won't go. They said, which is crazy because you got the money. You should have the money.
Maybe they were ready to just really go in a new direction. Yo, football teams and paying players is hilarious because they really think just go find somebody else, or they just don't want to. They don't want to do deals that don't make sense to them.
I feel like we're about to really find out between Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb what they really think.
They are saying that Jamar Chase is prepared to not play another down.
And I believe him. That boy from Louisiana, I believe all that.
I mean, this is the same guy who sat out his last year. He didn't play.
He did not play. He said, I'll do that joint again. Give him his money.
And this is the cheapest owner. Oh yeah. So here's my thing. I think it's gonna be a good conversation. If you wouldn't pay T. Higgins because you knew you had to pay Jamar Chase, and you don't want to pay Jamar Chase, what the fuck are you doing with this money?
What the fuck are you doing with this money?
And at some point, Roger Goodell got to step in.
And what? If that fool want to let his team burn, let that fool burn his team for being cheap. Hell no, Roger don't need to step in.
Make another team crazy better. We say this, but hey, when Kansas City find a way to pay Jamar Chase the money he really been looking for,
good for them.
Okay.
I don't like cheap owners. I don't like that. Nah, man, pay that man.
I agree. But the Bengals have historically been pretty cheap.
Yeah, that's their calling card.
One of the cheapest owners in the league.
He didn't want to pay Joe for real.
How you know?
Because he's cheap.
Why wouldn't he want to pay Joe Burrow?
Because he's cheap.
What do you think about that Patrick Mahomes behind the back pass?
All I think about is he going against people fighting for their football life, and you got to go out there and he playing NFL Street. I'd be so angry.
Well, he said he wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to look like that.
Oh, it was supposed to look better?
No, he said Travis I guess Patrick had caught an audible that Travis didn't hear, and so they were just kind of audibling it in real time, and
the Chiefs on some bullshit this year.
Now we're going to see that deep in the playoffs when we least expect it.
Oh, I think we're going to see it like when they play against like the Chargers or the Raiders, someone they hate.
No,
you don't think so?
No, they
did the ring around the rosy against the Raiders.
But listen, they can beat these teams easily.
Yeah, that's the point. We're so good, we can run behind the back passes and still beat you. Oh man.
Now it's going to be like divisional round, 3rd and 8, need a first down to stay. You know what I mean? Stay in the game. Go ahead,
if he does that, put him in the Hall of Fame. Just stop the game.
He already going there.
Let's get the ceremony going.
He already going there. Let's talk a little bit of our continued coverage of contract situations. I don't think that there's an update on Hassan Whiteside.
Nope.
Is he ever
to the Jets?
Listen, asking for a trade to then ask for another trade, Hall of Fame. CD still doesn't have a deal. Jerry said it's not as big as a priority. CD laughed, but this morning I read they're getting to a good place. They're getting to a good place.
Who said that?
I forgot what news outlet said that, but they said the Cowboys and CD are starting to get to a good place in terms of a deal. So there may be a deal coming soon. Do you think there's a deal in place by the time we come back next week?
Hell no. I think that's Jerry telling the media a lie. That feel like a lie to me.
Okay, then what about Brandon Ayuk and the Niners?
Same
Closer
thing.
to a deal, no deal yet. And it sounds like the Steelers, who are the main competition with people in the race for Brandon Ayuk, may have talked themselves out of the trade.
I don't believe that either. What are we talking about for the Ayuk situation in regards from a deal from the 49ers? Like what is taking so long?
It's probably a money thing. They probably don't see the same in terms of like money.
And I don't think Brandon Ayuk is moving off of his number. I feel like Ayuk's kind of guy's like, yo, this is the number. See or no. If not, get me out of here.
You think so?
That's what he I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong.
I think my thing would be like, where do you go if this doesn't work out? And if this doesn't work out, are you prepared to sit the whole season?
And I think that's what the 49ers are saying. We're going to do sit out on a Super Bowl winning team. And I think Ayuk might.
I don't know about Super Bowl winning, but I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying, like they are contenders. Like whether you think they can win the Super Bowl or not, at the very least, they're contenders in the NFC.
My thing is, if you're the Steelers and you're seeing how Russ has been performing, yeah, why not just give these guys exactly the deal they're looking for?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because
I feel like Ayuk would thrive in Pittsburgh.
I feel like Justin Fields with Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens, and Najee Harris could be something.
I agree.
Because Russell Wilson doesn't have
anything. Did you watch that preseason game Saturday?
No, he a 3-pack of ass, man. Are we ready to be honest about it?
You ain't getting no pushback from me.
Are we ready to be honest about it? This guy might be one of the worst. He stinks.
And it's crazy how quickly the fall happened.
Like somebody was like, y'all didn't appreciate prime Russ Wilson enough. And I was like, hold on. I think y'all are for like like you're inflating what prime Russ looked like, because it really wasn't like that.
It was.
Nah, it was more defense than it was Russ. Let's be honest.
Towards the end.
Nah, towards the beginning too. Come on, bro. Stop.
I mean, towards the end, he had more ownership.
He was never like that for real. He was never like that.
There was a time Russ was top 5.
Top 5 at what?
Quarterback.
Go back and look at those teams. He relied a lot on very good defense and a very good run game and zone scheme. He was not like that.
What year? Russ is 35, 36. When was he drafted? We can keep going. This is we can come back to this because now I'm intrigued.
2012. He was 2012, 2013.
All right,
maybe around the same year as like Andrew Luck, Cam Newton.
Let's see. Let's go to 2017 quarterbacks and see if he would be top 5. Mm-hmm. Oh, this isn't a list. We can go. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Cam, you can put in there. Maybe we can talk about Matt Ryan, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, this list isn't very inspiring at all.
I'm telling you, he won't really like that. Russ is not like that for real. We're gonna talk about when we get to the AFC North.
Yeah. Let's
actually, we might as well. We kind of here already.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's get in the AFC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue our trek towards the NFL season, which Danny, I believe, is 2 weeks away.
We only got 2 more divisions after this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we have the NFC North and the NFC East.
The NFC East. This is our last AFC division.
Yeah. So as we continue, ladies and gentlemen, we will be looking at the AFC North. So that it consists of the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns. We'll go through each team's record, our division winner, our breakout player, our division MVP, and anything else. Last week, we had a look at the AFC West. So, Danny, before we get into the AFC North, I'm going to remind the people about my AFC playoff teams so far. So, from the AFC South weeks ago, I had the Texans and the Jags both making it. From the AFC East, I had the Bills and the Dolphins both making the playoffs. From the AFC West, I only have the Chiefs making the playoffs. And as we get into the AFC North, it starts with the team I have finishing in last place in the AFC North with a record of 10-7. I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's very interesting. Keep going because I'm intrigued.
With a third place finish of 11 wins and 6 losses, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Second place finish with a record of 12 wins and 5 losses with a playoff berth, I do have the Cleveland Browns. And repeating as number 1 overall seeds in the AFC 14 wins, 3 losses. I have the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, so I have the AFC North being putting 2 teams into the playoffs: the Ravens and the Browns. I have Baltimore as the 1 seed, Chiefs as the 2 seed, Miami as the 3 seed, Texans as the 4 seed, Browns as the 5 seed, Jags as the 6 seed, and the Bills as the 7 seed.
I didn't even list out my playoffs, but it's okay. I think I can do it off top of the dome.
Oh, that's what I just did off the top of the hook.
Well, I'm trying to find the stuff that we talked about. So I love the idea. So why do you have the Bengals in last place? Because I had this same conversation with myself when I was talking about the Bengals, and I want to know if we're on the same page.
I think when I look at the Bengals, it's not so much that they're not a good team. I just look at the rest of the division and say I think the rest of the division is just a little bit better. I feel like the roster construction, I think QB play. There's not there. The Bengals are the only team whose quarterback was not healthy really a lot last year, and I feel like team wise, I think they got some things they got to clear up. We don't know who's going to be in the building. We don't know who's going to be on the field. We don't know who's going to be playing. We don't know what the offense is going to look like. And why don't you want to pay your players? I can't trust anyone to win games if you don't want to pay your players, because what are we out there playing for?
That is fair. Okay. For me it was, and I decided to go away from this. It's the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase contract that they got too many question marks. It's 2 guys, 2 1-tier wide receivers who are going to get paid. I don't know if that's going to cause any friction. Or if Jamar does get paid and T does not get paid, how does that affect the team? And if you're the Bengals, I'm assuming that's why they want to wait until next year to pay Jamar, because then you don't have to worry about T. Higgins. That would be my guess. But that's where my head was when I thought about the Bengals to myself. Like, what's the worst case scenario or the most probable scenario? And it's one of those 2 getting mad.
There is, if you look at the history of this team since Joe Burrow's been there, is Joe Burrow not likely to finish the season healthy?
That's also true. But but for me, like, that is. So Cal saying Higgins is not a tier 1 wide receiver. Okay, I'll a step below. But if Jamar gets paid,
if he not a tier 1 wide receiver, you damn sure be trying to trade that motherfucker like he a tier 1 wide receiver. Yeah, listen, you hit up Kyle for some T. Higgins. He asking for your grandmama house, your car note, and your mortgage payment.
I got nothing. But no, but I'm just saying, like, that's how I had it. So I had the Steelers in last place at 9-8. I think Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, the combination of the 2. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. That old adage, I believe it still rings true. If you got 2, you got none. It's funny because it's 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, that's a succession of wins. I think this is the most competitive division in all of football. Well, in the AFC, because I think the NFC North is going to be the most competitive division in all of football. I got the Browns at 10-7. The nasty man is still the nasty man in regards to on the football field. Like, I really haven't seen anything in the past 18 months that make me think he's going to go back to the guy he was in Houston. I could be wrong, but I need to see it. And I still think 10 wins is kind of generous. I was almost on the verge of flipping them and the Steelers and putting the Browns on last place, but that defense is going to keep them in games. Nick Chubb is not human. He is going to return at some point, and he's going to act like nothing ever happened. I got the Bengals at 11-6. I went away from that thinking I just talked to you about if one gets paid other in the contract situation between the receivers. And Joe's health also played a factor. But for me, it's like, if this team stays healthy, like, they will be gunning for the 1 seed. But I don't know if they're going to stay healthy the entire time. So I got them 11-6. And then I got the Ravens 1 seed, 12-5. Like, this team just every level. They just their only weakness is wide receiver. It's always their weakness. And
it's
some
really weakness because
right.
They got some dogs.
Because apparently they got some dogs. But I mean, that's all. When we talk about the Ravens, it's always, so what about the wide receivers? And somehow they were still the 1 seed in the AFC Championship game last year. Because that's how good Lamar Jackson is.
What do you have being the biggest storyline for the AFC North?
Can Lamar win back-to-back? That's it for me. Can he win back-to-back MVPs and get his third MVP? And if he does, and he fails in the playoffs again, it's not going to be
biggest storyline for me. The Bengals start entertaining the idea of trading Joe Burrow.
Wow. So how do we get there? Because he can't stay healthy?
Can't stay healthy.
Oh, buddy. Who would sign up for that? I'm trying to think. We want to trade Joe Burrow. Who would call? Seattle would call. Oh, buddy. Seattle would be great for Joe. What team would you like to see Joe on?
Las Vegas, Seattle.
Do you think the Cowboys would trade for Joe?
Yeah.
I do too. But the thing is, if you trade Dak, you're gonna have to pay him more money than you're paying Joe. So why would you do that?
True. Yeah.
Or
not Jets, Patriots potentially if they.
The Giants.
The Giants would be hilarious.
The Giants, Malik Neighbors and Joe. I don't want to see that.
LSU connection, I could see it.
I don't want to see that.
But yeah, I think this year the Bengals go down with another random fluke Joe Burrow injury, and now they're looking at this like, yo, dog, we can't keep doing this. Not for all this money.
That'd be very interesting.
Who do you have being the breakout player this season?
I got George Pickens. Even though Justin Fields and Russell Wilson may not be that good, they are both better than Kenny Pickett. And
listen, this guy that I also like a wide receiver, but they've been pretty high on this guy in training camp. I like the optimism, so I'm going to say it. Rashad Bateman, this is going to be
it.
1,300 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns, 100 receptions.
You putting that on in underdog? You going to the gambling?
Listen, underdog, put that on a motherfucking t-shirt.
Put that on the line. Put that line out there. Who's the MVP of the division? I feel like this is very easy.
LJ8, man. Come on, man. Come on. Ain't nobody. Listen.
I was trying to go away from that answer, so I put TJ Watt.
I have seen enough Ravens games where defenders just don't know what to do when Lamar Jackson gets into the open field.
Which one would be harder for you, tackling Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry in the open field? Because that's what defenders are going to have to face this year. Who do I want to get juked out of my ACL, or do I want to get run over?
You got to take getting run over.
You got to get juked, man.
Nah, juke can be worse because, like, you be trying when you be juking. At least when you get run over, everyone be like, oh, well, you ain't got to hurt that baby like that. You bigger than him. That's what they be saying. You bigger than him.
Is that what you say? What do you remember more? Lamar Jackson juke or Derrick Henry stiff arming Josh Norman into retirement?
Listen, that Josh Norman stiff arm, it made grown men cry and say, yo, Derrick Henry, come on, bro. You have to do all that. Poor Josh Norman still ain't recovered. We ain't seen him since.
Yeah, he pushed that man. He said, man, go be a family man.
So as we close out the AFC portion of this divisional breakdown, I had the AFC South putting 2 teams in, the AFC East putting 2 teams in, the AFC West putting the defending champions in, going for 3 straight, and the AFC North putting 2 teams back in.
Hold on, you keep going.
I'm just looking at it, man. I have worst overall record in the AFC being the Tennessee Titans at 5-12, which means I really have the number 1 overall pick likely coming from, you guessed it, the NFC side.
That's nasty business for the NFC South.
Well, no, I'm saying I meant the NFC side, not the NFC South.
Oh, okay, my bad.
NFC South, worst division I have right now. Worst record I have right now is the Panthers at 8-11.
Let's see. I'm putting my AFC teams in order. Or at least the playoff teams.
You really think the Patriots go below 500 this year?
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you think they don't look competitive in most games?
Nope. I don't have a lot of faith. I do not have a lot of faith.
Do,
But
do you think? Okay, so I had the Falcons at 10-7 before the Matthew Judon trade. With Matthew Judon, what is that? Maybe 12-5.
yeah, like I said, I think the Falcons are going to run away with that division. Like, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
The talent alone, like you have too much talent. You have too much talent.
I don't see how the Vikings make the playoffs this year with some of these injuries they have. We'll talk about it next week in our NFC North coverage. I think the NFC North puts in two teams, Packers and Lions, and I don't know. I'm still not really sold about that team from Detroit. We'll see.
So we got 8 teams in the playoffs, right?
17 teams per conference.
So who's my last team getting in? I should have done this. This is terrible prep work for me.
This is good. While you do that, ladies and gentlemen, we do have in a few minutes some fantasy football chatter to get to. But while Danny puts together his list of teams,
I got it.
You got it? All right, let's talk about it.
All right, top seed were the Ravens, then the Chiefs, Texans, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Miami, and then Cleveland.
Okay, so we had you had Cincy in there. I had the Jags in there.
Yep.
And I think the rest of the teams we had were the same.
Yeah.
All right. So your Jags is my Cincy. We'll see who has the better season. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the AFC bet to watch. Better record between the Jags and the Bengals.
This ought to be fun. Do you want
to listen? Yesterday, while we have some fantasy football folks in here, yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, Danny and I, we did our draft lottery for our redraft league. Yes, the OG league, the OG fantasy league I started commissioning, one of my favorites. Danny, the draft lottery was yesterday. I believe you got pick number 4.
I am. I got 4 out of 10.
How are you feeling about pick number 4 out of 10?
I feel great. I have been doing mock drafts nonstop. Drafts where I get my hands on an elite pass catcher first have worked out better than drafts where I take the elite running back first.
In this league, I got 8. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how to feel about this.
I feel like you're gonna get an elite pass catcher.
Kyle, it's a 1 QB PPR standard redraft format. So 1 QB, 2 running backs, two wide receivers, a tight end, 2 flexes, defense, and a kicker. Go ahead, Danny. What were you saying?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like you're gonna have the opportunity to get your hands on probably some combination of Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Hittas, and depending on how the Jamar Chase thing goes, because Jamar Chase might scare some people away. I'm a little afraid of drafting Jamar Chase, but I feel like you're going to have a crack at some combination of those guys. And I'm trying to think of who, because I did one draft where like 8 or 9 ended up getting their hands on AJ Brown and Hittas, and I was like, how did that happen?
Well, I'm glad we're having this conversation because last week we did something interesting. We did a mock draft where we kind of declared ourselves at I think last week I was 4 because I got 4 and
you were.
Was that 5? I think I was 5 or 4. No, I was 6. Last week I was 6. So last week I was 6 and drafted out of that. This week I like us to do another mock draft. This time you can be 4. I'll be 8.
Should we throw Kyle in here if he's interested?
Yeah, it's still Kyle. Kyle, if you're in here, we'd love to have you in here.
I'll send Kyle the link.
And if there's anybody else in here, I see some other guys in there. If you're in here, roll FF. I see V Network One, B League. If you're in here, Bam. If you're in here, holler at us. We'll get you guys that link. Do a little bit of a mock draft real quick. But Danny, here's my thing, right? As I look at the board, I'm thinking I have to take the best player available. I think Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, maybe AJ Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Looks like Kyle says that Danny, you should get at least Tyreek CD, JJ, Chase, Amon-Ra, and then I'll have somewhere in the Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson range, which is fair.
Like there's a world where you can end up with like AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson.
So at 8 and 2-3, at 1-8 and 2-3, do you go wide receiver, running back, best wide receiver, best running back, or do you take best player available, period?
Like I said, the drafts that I have done, and I've only done them from 4, like every draft, or mostly every draft where I take that elite pass catcher on the back end, like when I come back from, because it's a long wait, it usually works out in my favor. Either there's another, not a Jamar Chase level pass catcher, but like a step underneath that I can grab, or a running back has slipped, not like Saquon level. I'm trying to think like Etienne is on the board or someone like that.
Yeah.
All right. Let me hide the chat so the screen's a little bit bigger. There we go.
Right. Let's do how many rounds we do last week?
I think we did like 10.
Okay.
Yeah, let's fill how many? It's 15 rounds. Let's do enough to fill out the starting roster. You want to do 12 rounds?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
or 11 maybe.
Let's do 11. We'll do 11. All right. Here we go. So Kyle has picked number 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Crazy.
He says he wants to shock the world, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he goes at pick number 101 in the world.
Oh, but Kyle, that's perfect practice. Thank you for that, though, because if someone takes Hill 1 overall, that's all right, though. Cause come on home, Jettas.
So this is interesting. So because I'm going to be honest with you, if this is a real draft and Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson go 6 and 7, I think there's I'd be crazy to pass up on Amon-Ra St. Brown.
100%.
Like you got to see Amon-Ra St. Brown in that
spot. Look who you got on the back end. What did I say? Garrett Wilson.
That's not bad. But here's the thing. You can take Garrett Wilson right now easily.
Yeah.
Or when you start looking at these running backs, now let's talk about it. Saquon, Kyron Williams, Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Pacheco, Kenneth Walker, Kamara, Aaron Jones. I don't know, man. I think after Saquon and maybe Kyron Williams, it's a big drop off.
Yeah.
Versus on the receiver side, Garrett Wilson, then you go Marvin Harrison, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, Debo, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle, Stephon Diggs. I think there's still quality wide receivers deep in this draft. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take Saquon Barkley. And I'm glad I did, because look at this. Look at how that's shaped out.
Yeah, look at that. So now, again, and maybe this is a bad draft strategy. How many good wide receivers are left? How many good running backs are left? So we're going to go with Derrick Henry.
Getting Christian McCaffrey and Marvin Harrison Jr. is fun.
Illegal.
Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane. A lot of speed going on over there by Team Sinra says.
See, now this is where things get interesting, right? Because Chris Olave is right there, and I'm extremely tempted. But Derek Carr is his quarterback. I could get Josh Jacobs. Kelsey's right there. I'm not huge on Kelsey this year. Yeah, we're gonna go Chris Olave. Who am I? Who am I lying to? Who am I lying to?
Josh Allen the third. Is Josh Allen really going this early in redraft leagues?
And Jalen, which is crazy. I wish someone would. Go ahead.
Hendricks, you have to.
Not that it's a wasted pick. Don't get me wrong.
Do you get the best tight end available, or?
Shout out to Brandon. Brandon's in here participating in the mock draft too.
Shout out Brandon. Shout out Brandon. I'm going to be honest with you. This one's tough because
really,
you think I mean,
who are you stuck between? And then that'll help me out.
Do you want to take the best overall tight end and be able to have that separation, or do you go and get someone like a?
So I would Sam Laporta, and then on the back end, see if Nico Collins or Jalen Waddle are still there. Like that's what I would do.
Listen, man, I still think.
And look who's sitting right there. You got Mike, Jalen, Stephon, DJ Moore.
You know what?
Don't do it. I know what you're thinking. Don't do it.
Sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta try something out.
Oh wow! Thank you. Come on home, DJ. I'll take that.
Yeah, I like it. Malik Neighbors. I like it.
I like the risk, man. I'm
Gotta risk it for the business.
I'm loading up on all these wide receivers, and I need to stop.
Since I've seen you, you're my equal. You're my equal. Yo, Anthony Hamilton got one of the greatest voices you ever heard, R&B wise.
If I like slave music.
See, that's why you had to do that. Why you had to do that? Come on.
Oh man, this is tough. I'm not gonna hold you.
What you thinking?
So I'm thinking between Rashad White, Devontae Smith, and Joe Mixon. Like I want to pick Devontae, but I need to be objective here. Yeah.
Kyle says his team is team old as fuck wide receiver. Yes, it is.
I mean, it's only redraft. Who cares?
Yeah.
We just need him for a year.
Just need him for a year. Need just another solid year from him. All righty, here we go.
Oh, that's easy for you. He at the top. Really? I'm not mad at it.
Lock up that QB. Look at this. CJ Stroud, Saquon, Amon-Ra. The Amon-Ra to Sam Laporta stack is crazy. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, you can be real invested, which is crazy because you're a Packers fan. You'll be real invested in them boys.
Hey, they can score the points they want. Just don't score them against you know who.
That's fair. Just
don't score them against you know who. See, this is where like running back wise, I don't know if I feel good about any of these.
I mean, it's only gonna get worse from here though.
True.
I mean, you still have some good options though. Like, are they great? No. but it's not terrible.
I want to take another chance on Ramondre Stevenson. I just don't know what type of player I'm gonna get.
Yeah. I mean, that offense is going to be pitiful.
Yeah. Is he gonna draft my Aaron Jones? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, buddy. I can't believe this is happening. I hope the draft go like this for me in real life because it never does.
Well, yeah, you forget about the unpredictability of humans.
Yeah. Because,
I don't know.
buddy,
This is honestly the biggest swing and a miss. I'm not swinging a miss, like biggest chances I would have probably taken in a mock draft, but I'm not mad at this roster.
yeah, I'm not mad at your roster either.
The Amon-Ra to Sam Laporta stack is crazy. Brandon, Kyle, let me know what you guys think about having a Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra, and Brown stack. Because that means like if Jared Goff if he ain't hitting that day, it's done for me.
Buddy, this is insane. Oh, yeah. I'll take that.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Kyle said, go get Jared Goff.
I mean, he ain't lying.
Maybe in some. I don't even. Yo, is he even in here?
Yeah, he should be in there.
Someone take him already?
No, he's in there. 111.
Oh, yeah, I see him. I ain't getting him right now, but I see him. Let's see. Man, this one's hard. I don't mind Najee Harris right here at this position.
I was thinking this would be a time to grab Ramondre if you were interested.
But Jaden Reed is right there. The urge to fight my Packer fandom, but I can't. I can't. Give me all the Packers. Ah!
This man is an addict.
I can't fight it. Damn, someone took Ramondre Stevenson for real. Hendricks, you're doing this thing as a dog where like you're invading my personal space.
Yep. They don't know anything about personal space. Dog, this team is loaded. I can't believe this is happening to me.
Listen, remember, this is just a mock.
I know. It never works like this.
Is Devin Singletary, is he really slated to be?
He is a New York Giant. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
and
but
you already got one.
He's already. Sure. Kyle said, I'm a homer, but that Reed was a smart pick at that draft spot. Listen, if there's one thing about me, I'm going to find me a Packer. Just one. And y'all lucky I already drafted CJ Stroud, or I'd have to get his quarterback, who won me a league last year too, by the way. Hendrix, I'm gonna start. Listen, down. Someone. I was chatting with a dog expert over the weekend as I was walking Hendrix, and he was like, when Hendrix tried to jump on him, he like, "Are you okay if I like squeeze his paws a little bit to let him know I don't want to be jumped on?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And then he was like, "Yeah."
Whoa.
He was like, if they get too jumpy, just kind of like don't like squeeze them, but like kind of
Yeah. Let them know it's not cool.
yeah. First time I did it, Hendrix got down immediately, and I just looked at this white man like, how do you know this? What type of devil's voodoo white man?
Not voodoo white man.
what type what type of voodoo white man shit that you on? All right. Let's just after this round, we'll do one more round, and then we'll call it a mock draft.
Yeah, that works.
All right, let me go ahead and pick up my guy while I have it right now. Because I would probably do that in real life. I would probably make sure that Jared.
Oh, you'd have to get golf.
Let's see. This is where it gets kind of shaky because some of these wide receivers. Cortland Sutton, I feel like what do you think of Cortland Sutton, right? You think he's a number one receiver on a team, so he should have a lot of value, especially this late in the draft. But when you don't know a lot about Bo Nix, this pick,
That's it. Pick at your own risk. How many times you got to fall for the Cortland Sutton trap? Just the same way I'm about to fall into this Javonte Williams trap.
No, I'm not doing that one again. I learned my lesson. I'm better than that one. You know what? I'll do it quick.
Oh, thank God. Team 5 fell into the trap before I could. My favorite Packer.
Christian Watson. Hey, if Kyle says I'm making smart picks, that's when I know I'm making smart picks.
All right.
Great little mock draft, guys. Love it.
How do you feel? How do you feel about your team? Hold on. Let's go team by team. D, you go first. How do you feel about your team?
My team, I have CJ Stroud as my starting QB, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, Sam Laporta, Jaden Reed, Zamir White. Backup QB is Jared Goff. My first off the bench is Cortland Sutton. I'm honestly not upset about that one. You?
So Kyle, I'll do Kyle since he's not on. So Kyle got is it paused right now because the timer's still going?
Kyle, go ahead. You can read Kyle's.
So how to? I want to see Kyle's starting roster. There we go.
If you can't see it,
yeah, can you pull it up? Because I see Hill, A-Chain. I just kind of wanted to read it in order, like QB, running back.
So Kyle's is Tyreek Hill, Devon A-Chain, Devontae Adams, Mark Andrews, Cooper Kupp, Joe Burrow, David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, Deontay Johnson, and Christian Watson.
I like it. Like you said, a lot of speed, bit of a homer. Devontae's not in Green Bay anymore, but still a homer pick. My team, Dakota, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Jettas, Chris Olave, George Kittle, DJ Moore.
Dakota?
Yeah,
stop disrespecting your quarterback like that. That's Dak Prescott. He about to get paid.
Dakota. George Kittle, DJ Moore, Scary Terry, and then off the bench is Jonathan Brooks, but I know he's hurt right now. I'm willing to take the risk. And Brian Thomas, I don't know how I feel about having two rookies. Depending on two rookies, I might do that again if I had the chance. But other than that, like the starters, oh yeah, like this team is solid.
Here's my thing in some of these. I haven't won some of these leagues drafting the way I've drafted before. Maybe it's time to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to take some risk. How are you going to get better if you don't?
You got to take some risks. That's why I took Malik Neighbors in the 4th round. Who knows about that one? That could be a.
I like the Malik Neighbors pick because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback all year.
I don't think they're going to have anyone else to throw the football to.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
True. Talk a little NCAA football. We have a couple of week 0 games. FSU versus Georgia Tech. How do you think FSU kind of responds after being left out of the college football playoff last year?
You better dominate. You better. You can't count. You can't be bitching all offseason and come out and lose to Georgia Tech week 0.
Listen, they got.
We're really gonna get these jokes off.
There's the ACC is a little bit thicker this year. There's a couple of teams that can compete. Plus, SMU is no scrub. I keep telling people SMU is not
at all. And you can pay people. They're the originals. They're the OGs of this.
They are the OGs of this. Speaking of SMU, they open up week 0 versus Nevada. Kind of just wanted to speak to some of their ACC opponents. I think they'll beat Nevada, but here's some of their ACC opponents. I want to know how you think they'll fare. Well, here's some of their opponents in general, not just ACC. TCU. They're at home versus Florida State, on the road against Stanford, at home against Pittsburgh, Cal, and Boston College, and they're on the road at Louisville.
I think they're going to be more, like you said, they'll be more competitive than people think they will. I think people see them as like a D1 AA. No, like they have Texas is a great state for football. All their college teams are for the most part good. Like I think SMU is going to do just fine in the ACC. I don't think the transition is going to be as difficult as one. I think SMU's transition to the ACC is going to be easier than Stanford's transition to the ACC.
I've been reading a little bit more. I've been reading up a little bit on Stanford and Cal and Oregon and UCLA and USC, some of these other schools how they're transitioning from conferences that are West Coast based to conferences that are East Coast based. And boy, let me tell you something. That travel. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, there are going to be teams that are going to be losing to random schools.
Oh yeah,
just because the travel is just way
like different. USC plays at Rutgers this year. Like I'll probably take Rutgers.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. All right, wrap this up towards the back end of our topic list. WNBA, they're returning back from Olympic play. Danny, some of your thoughts as our WNBA guru as we head into the playoff push for the WNBA.
Well, right now, Connecticut and your Sparks are playing. It's a very competitive game. It's 59-62 Connecticut with
my Sparks have been playing competitive basketball, even though,
even
it's a rebuild year, but still.
I think the Liberty just look unbeatable right now. Like they've already clinched a playoff spot. I'm intrigued to see what they look like in the playoffs because they're chasing ghosts. Because last year they lost the finals on their floor to Vegas. I'm just interested to see what that look. They beat the piss out of Vegas the other night. Vegas gets another shot in the next month. Like I said, Connecticut's playing right now. They traded for Marina Mabry from Chicago. She is a 3-point specialist. I don't know if that's enough. Like I feel like Connecticut has been in this space for the past 5 years, but they're always the runner-up, and they're never like if Connecticut and Vegas played right now, I'd pick Vegas. If Connecticut and New York played right now, I'd pick New York. And a part of me would pick Connecticut. I mean, if Minnesota and Connecticut played, I would pick Minnesota. So I don't know if it was enough, but you got to appreciate them trying to make a move to win a championship. But you can't win a championship if your point guard can't shoot because she has 2 torn labrums. And then the big one, Caden Clark and Angel Reese, rookie of the year. It's coming down to the wire. I think Angel has set the record for double doubles for a rookie. Caitlin has set the assist record for rookies. I think Angel is challenging most double doubles by anyone. I have to look at that, and I think Caitlin has the potential to flirt with most assists in the season. Maybe I haven't really dug into it, but those two, it's going to the wire. They're both in the playoffs right now. I think Indiana's 7, Chicago is 8, I want to say. So it should be pretty competitive. It's been a great season. but that's the big one. Clark and Reese.
Do you think we're getting co-MVPs?
Nah, we're not getting it. It's Asia MVP.
I mean, not co-MVPs, co-Rookie of the Years.
Nah, I think we'll give it to somebody. Streets will ride if you. I am inclined to Angel, but man, Caitlin has found her groove after this break. She's found it.
They was hooping in the Olympics. I want to get in. I want to get in on this.
Like some of these passes, man. You and I talked about it opening night.
They be nice. Her teammates just got to knock them down. Now they start knocking them down. Now what we talking about?
Yep. Now what we talking about?
Mm-hmm. Colt McCoy retires. Hats off to Colt McCoy. I still remember that game versus Alabama. That's what set it off, right? That's what started the dynasty.
Can we have a conversation?
Talk to me. If you're going to sit here and shit on Colt McCoy and say, what did he really do to deserve any type of recognition? Come on.
Nope. I thought Colt McCoy retired 3 years ago. I did not know he was still in the league.
Well, he was basically retired. He just wasn't getting a lot of play. But he was being a quality backup.
But congrats to Colt McCoy.
Congrats to Colt McCoy. I really believe it was that Colt McCoy Texas versus Bama national championship game that really.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
That's what started the Nick Saban dynasty.
You are the footstool to Nick Saban's dynasty.
Izzy Adesanya lost this weekend. No really big news, but hey, brother.
Is it time to hang it up? Is it one of those things?
The second time that guy's beat him.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe time to switch divisions. I don't know. Any new WWE thoughts? What do you?
The Wyatt 6 interest still interested. I'm losing a little bit of interest, but
to figure out who are y'all spooking now. Y'all can't keep spooking Chad Gable. I need y'all to fight somebody like legitimate.
Yeah, I need because they've had their debut match, but I need a match with some stakes in it. So that's where I am with them. Oh, in
or like more like promos or something.
Well, the promos have been great. I just need them to fight. Like I need to see them wrestle.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is a weird sentence, but a strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
If they were lesbians, I would be.
Good night.
Worried.
Good night.
I would be worried.
That's why I didn't want to say anything.
But as I watched them talk about it yesterday, I was like, wait a minute, guys. Do y'all like each other? Not like I feel like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre may have like buried the hatchet a while ago and like they're trying to act like they're not cool. But I feel like
we will see at this match because we'll see.
I really think they probably were. They did have like previous disagreements, and I think they probably buried the hatch. But part of what their on-screen beef has to do with real life, so they have to like, know what I'm saying?
100%.
They don't look like two dudes who don't like each other in real life. Neither do CM Punk and Seth.
No, I think CM Punk and Seth hate each other. I think that's legit. I think they do not like each other. Do you like say what?
I just think it's so interesting to have real life beef with someone like you fake wrestle with because like y'all got to really.
I mean, that Edge and Matt Hardy beef over Lita was real.
Hey, that's because Lita was being a little. Jamie, what's good?
Jamie is perfect to be in here.
Lita was. We don't ever talk about that, but Lita was being a little fast.
Fast? Whose grandma am I talking to?
She was being a little fast tail thing.
Who grandma is this?
Yo, give me some of your old head language that you couldn't believe people were saying back in the day that you find yourself saying now.
Husky when calling somebody fat.
Husky.
So there used to be they don't do it anymore. That used to be a size. So like for big kids, like you'd have normal kids pants and then you'd have that size, but it would say husky. And that was like I wore husky clothes. That was for the fat kids, husky.
Hold on. Listen, my favorite old head quotes that I can't believe I find myself saying is all the shits Joe Biden was up there saying.
Oh, I know he happy. He
No, hold on. Can I go back and look at some of Joe Biden's? Hold on. Biden and his Bidenisms. Come on. Bidenisms 2024.
he doesn't know what he said. I don't know what he said. He don't know what he said.
You a history of Joe Biden's gaffle and all the oops moments. Mistaken Egypt for Mexico.
Who among us have not that?
Referring to Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump.
Okay.
Forgetting the name of Hamas. Confusing world leaders. God save the queen.
we not making fun of our elders.
Shaking hands with thin air. Falling off bicycle. Holy shit.
Well, who has not fallen off of a bicycle before?
Didn't he say something about a knuckle sandwich not too long ago?
He did. He did. That's a good one. Knuckle sandwich.
Oh man. Shit. Listen, what you doing this week, man? What you got going on the rest of this week?
Hopefully, again, like I said, work is starting to slow down. Friday night, my wife and I are going to dinner. I have a family reunion to attend on Saturday. My grandmother's side of the family the last time we went to a family reunion with that side was 12 years ago because I had just met my wife. We had just started dating. So now I ain't gonna be there long though.
You ain't gonna be there long. Why?
Hell no. It's a long drive. Like they live in the middle of nowhere. There's no access to the place. There's no they don't have I've told you about this place before. They don't have access to major
woods in Virginia.
Huh?
Are they from my neck of the woods in Virginia?
This is remember I told you about that place where if you have a heart attack, they had to call the helicopter because it's so far away from a hospital. Yeah, it's deep. Like it's gonna take us an hour and 13 minutes to get there. And there is it's just one lane highways. There's no freeway, there's no nothing.
It's bullshit, man. I ain't got much I ain't doing much. I mean, we had the week off last week.
Yeah.
So I think listen, when the whole company gets a week off, people
It's a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing. People come back when they kind of work a little slow. Either work a little slow or some people are just kind of taking some time to. Okay, let me ask your thoughts about this. If everyone gets a week off, and everyone knows we all get this week off every year, and you know that there's the people who take the week prior off or take the week after off so they can extend their time.
Yep.
How do you feel about the person who waits until the day that the last day before this week off to extend their time off additionally?
That is inconsiderate because you have not given your colleagues time to prep or you haven't left anything for them to pick up your slack while you're gone. So you're saying you get the week off, it's the Thursday before you go back, and then Friday. You're like, it's the Friday. You're like, I'm gonna take the next week off too.
No. They wait to the Friday before the week off and add that the
that's
Monday,
still
Tuesday off from when we get back.
Oh, you said that the Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah.
You can that's fine. I think your team can cover 2 days, especially everyone's gonna be catching up that first half of the week. No one's really gonna notice. I think that's fine. I thought you were saying you get the week off, the week when everyone's off, the Thursday before you're coming back, a person's like, I'm taking next week off too. That is inconsiderate. But if it's the Friday before the week and you say, hey guys, I'm taking that Monday and Tuesday too, I think that's okay.
What's the difference?
Well, that's 3 days difference.
But everyone's already started. Everyone has already went on vacation. You're doing this on the Friday that everyone's going on vacation. So by the time everyone gets around to seeing your message and really digesting it, they're already on vacation. You just so happen to do it. 3 p.m. on a Friday. You might as well have sent it on a Monday. But if the Monday is the vacation day,
it's still inconsiderate. It's just not as inconsiderate as if they had taken the whole week. I'm not saying it's not inconsiderate.
Okay, touche.
But it's not. I thought you were saying they had taken another week off without any prep for the team. That's a dick move.
Danny, let the people know where they can find you, my good brother. It's been a great show.
You guys can find me on the Bird app at Danny Ocean 41. Thanks for everyone that stopped by. This is a really, really great interactive show. You can find us Speak On It _pod, Twitter, Instagram, the TikToks. Send us an email, speakonthepod14@gmail.com if you have any questions. Well, I don't know. We might be too busy to answer questions now. It's football season. We back. We up.
It is football season, and we are up. Let me tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at Losdeemix. That's LOSDEEMIX. Instagram, X, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. I'm on all that. If you guys are following me on Twitch, I do be on there playing a little bit of my college football dynasty mode game. So you might have seen I was in a 4 overtime thriller versus Texas State yesterday, 147-45. Let me tell you something. My offense in NCAA isn't bad, except for that Ohio State bullshit that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
It don't be bad. Here is where I be losing games. Defense, and it's bad. Yo, I wish I could show you like the stat. Yesterday I was playing Texas State. I dominated time of possession by like, okay, if it's 6-minute quarters, 4 quarters. So is that? Listen, I probably had the ball for like 20 of the 24 minutes that we played this game. Like when I got the ball, it was just dumb. Like I wasn't getting off the field, and I was doing it on purpose because I was like, okay, confident. My defense can't stop anybody. If I just keep this guy's team off the field, I think I have a chance here. No interceptions, no nothing. We still go into overtime because my defense couldn't stop a runny fucking nose. Damn. Had to go into overtime to win off of fucking 2-point conversions. And I will say this, though. Here's what I'll say. Offense scored the 2 points to go up. But you know who had to get a stop for us to seal the deal? Defense had to hold it down. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world. But, of course, you were here with myself and Danny Ocean. And all we can do is thank you. All we can do is really just thank you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were with us. Make sure that you continue to speak on it because the things in life that are worth speaking on deserve to be spoken on. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting closer and closer and closer to the start of football season. But that's the NFL season we're talking about. If you didn't know, college football is back, baby, this week.
We here. Let me tell you, I'm going to try to be getting service. I'm going to be watching these games on my phone. I ain't got time to talk to my family. I ain't said nothing to you in 12 years. I ain't got nothing to say now.
I ain't got nothing to say. As college football begins to approach, ladies and gentlemen, a few things you should remember. If you don't have a team, please root for the Virginia Tech Hokies. They are in line to help win the ACC this year.
Good night, y'all. Don't listen to that bullshit.
Remember, the SEC and the Big Ten are kings of college football. If you didn't believe me, just remember, they started a 12-team playoff, and they are expected to give both the SEC and the Big Ten at least 8 of those 12 positions.
And they should. And they should. And they 100% should.
They ain't playing no games. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great night. Kyle, Jamie,
Brandon,
Kyle, Jamie, Brandon, the Network One, the Royal FF. Thank you guys for pulling up. We will catch you guys next week. Make sure you guys follow us on socials, share. We'll catch you.